This will be for the Khan Academy exercise. Identify composite functions. All right, so it's a pretty simple exercise. You want to see if you can take the inner function and plug it in place of x for the outer function. And if you get the original function, then that is your answer. All right, so all of the answer choices are basically the same for each problem. Okay, you're going to have an inner and outer function for answer A, and then for answer B, they're just going to switch the inner and outer function, and then answer C will be not a composite function. So basically, just test A and B, and if neither one worked, then it's answer C. All right, a composite function can be written as W of U of X, where U and W are basic functions. All right, so from the way they wrote it, the W is going to be the outer function, and the U is going to be the inner function. Is f of x equals e to the x minus 7 a composite function? If so, what are the inner and outer functions? Recall we said in the instructions you want to plug the inner function into the outer function. All right, so let's do that for answer choice A. The inner function is e to the x, and the outer function is x minus 7. So let's say we take e to the x and we plug it in place of x for x minus 7. Well, you're going to get you're going to get e to the x minus 7. Okay, you can say f of x equals if you like. So does this match what we have here? No, because this is e to the x minus 7, and this right here is e to the power of x minus 7. Okay, so answer A is no good. Let's move on to answer choice B. All right, so I rewrote the original right here. Okay, again, you can say f of x equals if you like, but that's the original function. And we're going to try B. We're going to take the inner and plug it into the outer. Okay, so the inner function here is x minus 7. And we're going to plug it into the outer function right in place of x. If we plug it in right there in place of x, that's going to be e. And in place of x, we're going to sub in x minus 7. Okay, so that matches the original function. So the answer is choice B. F is composite. Okay, the inner function is x minus 7, and the outer function is e to the x. All right, composite function can be written as w of u of x. Is h of x equals e to the negative x squared composite? If so, what are u and v? All right, same type of answers, but instead of writing inner and outer, they used u and w. I accidentally said v. They used u and w. All right, so clearly w is the outer and u is the inner. All right, so let's test each one. All right, so the original is right here. W is the outer, U is the inner. Remember, we want to sub the inner into the outer function. So since U is the inner, we want to take this, or specifically this right here, and sub it into the outer function right here. Okay, so we're going to take the inner function, which is negative x squared, and sub it in place of x. That's going to be e. And in place of the exponent, it's going to be negative x squared. Does that match the original? Yes, it does. That matches the original, so that's it. Answer A. All right, here the original function is radical e to the x. Let's try each answer. I'm just going to rewrite this here. All right, here's the original. As always, we're going to sub in the inner into the outer function. So answer choice A, the inner function is e to the x, and the outer function is radical x. We're going to take e to the x and sub it in right there, and that's going to give us radical e to the x. Does that match the original? Yes, it does. Answer A. All right, here we have W is the outer and U is the inner. All right, so right here is the original. We're going to sub the inner into the outer. In other words, sub in U into W. All right, so right here is function U. We're going to take this right here and sub it into function W. All right, so subbing in place of X, that's going to give us E in place of the exponent, log of X. Does this match the original? No. So it's not answer A. Moving on to answer B. U is the inner, W is the outer. We're going to take U, the inner, and sub it into W, the outer function. All right, so in place of X, we have the log. And in place of X, that's going to be e to the X. Log of e to the X. Does that match the original? No, this is log of X times e to the X. So this one doesn't match either. So in that case, G is not a composite function.